All right, so now we've kind of gotten Woody a little bit past his fear of the kennel. We just put a little blanket in there to make it a little bit more soothing for him. And he actually went in there without me throwing a treat. Kennel. So now he already feels better about the kennel. Kennel. Now when I've been doing this, right, I've been starting out with me in the kneeling position. Part of it is for the angle of the camera, but also part of it is because this is less authoritative for the dog. So a lot of times we push the dog in a kennel, we slam the door shut, and then we leave. And so we kind of trick him or force him into it. So I want him to be able to go in and out of the kennel on his own with his own steam. Now I'm going to do it from a standing position. We'll see if we get the same response from him. There we go. We did. Now we have a linger, which is great. Now for this part, I don't care if you're not shooting my face. It'd be better to shoot him. Okay. And that's great. See, he's already feeling better about the kennel. We're at a different location, and now we've created a positive association. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the treat in the kennel, and I'm going to silently follow behind him and block him from exiting the kennel, but I'm going to leave the kennel door open. Now he's not allowed to leave the kennel until he LAYs. But I'm not going to tell him to LAY. I want him to do it on his own volition. So I'm standing here to block him. They say for humans, the hardest part about being in jail is hearing the door close. So I'm just staying here to block, but the door is open. Now, as soon as he SITs, I'm going to take a step backwards at the same time. Now, I don't have to wait for him to SIT. He's stationary. I can take a small step back, and I wait. If he tries to come out, I'm going to use the escalating consequences we went over before and hiss and rush forward as my way of saying, no, I disagree with you exiting the kennel. He's staying calm and he's staying in position, so I take another step back. Now I'm taking small steps back. I'm only moving back about 4 to 6 inches each time because he's fast, and I don't want him to learn to run out the door. I don't ever move unless the dog's looking at me. Now at this point, he could leave the kennel before I could stop him. He's definitely a much better athlete than I am at my age. Even at my prime, I'm not as good an athlete as he is. So what I'm doing is waiting for him to SIT. Now, as we talked about off camera earlier, SIT is a more subordinate position. I'm spelling it out because I don't want him to do it on command. I want him to do it communicating to me, I'm challenging you to exit the kennel or the crate less. I'm doing that, communicating that by taking an SIT position, which is more subordinate. Now, this is very much a who blinks first scenario. We'll go with this video, hopefully we'll be able to capture it, but the record is I had a boxer once, it took 45 minutes before it LAY'd in the kennel. Now, you have to establish it. What we're basically helping him do is practice being inside the kennel in a calm state of mind. The kennel, usually for dogs with separation anxiety, the kennel is actually the second thing. The first thing is my guardians leave me alone. The second thing is I'm sequestered in this kennel. So now I have to defeat the kennel and then go find my humans. So the kennel actually amplifies the anxiety. So we have to help the dog practice and learn how to behave in the kennel calmly. And we do this just by helping them practice it. We do it with us in the room and with the door open. So there's nothing to defeat or fight against because the kennel, I'm restraining myself. The kennel's not the authority figure. I'm developing control. Now, as soon as he SITs, I'm going to take a big step back simultaneously like that. Now, anytime he starts to come out, I'm going to rush towards him and make the hissing sound. Eventually, and then the first couple times, as soon as he LAYs, I usually have a treat in my hand like this. I take a knee and I hold my hand out and I give him the COME command. And then and sometimes they won't come out or they come out very slowly, like what we saw earlier. Mm-hmm. That's his way of saying, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to come out or not, so I'm going to go really slow in case I have this wrong so you can correct me. Now, he doesn't know that he has to SIT or LAY. I'm just waiting. That's why the first couple times are the longest times for this exercise. But if we let him out, as soon as he LAYs the first 5, 6, 7 times, after a while, he's like, so I LAY, I can escape the kennel? Then he starts LAYing within 15 seconds. When he starts LAYing with 15 seconds, that's when we're going to move to the next stage, which, if you want to film me real quick, is what we will cover in the next video.